What the fuck is up, everybody? This is the Just Life podcast, and I got a very, very special homie here. Goes by the name of Zai, the Fly Guy. Why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Yup, I go as Zirius or Zy the Fly Guy. You can find me on Instagram, and I own Zone of Endless Motion, which is the brand right here. We rocking that all the time, 24/7. You could go find that on the page in zoneofendlessmotion.com. Got the website running up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
quick
sir.
tag.
So, what's everything that you've had going on recently, man? Because I mean, we've had a lot of shit jam packed. We've been making a lot of
Yeah.
shit happen. So maybe even just take it back to when did you start Zone of Endless Motion and why?
Oh snap! All right, so I started Zone of Endless Motion in middle school. It started as like a skateboarding kind of streetwear kind of thing where I would print T-shirts from my homies and give them to them, and I would get blank skateboards and paint on them, and then give them to my homies, cause we were like we didn't really have it like that, cause boards are expensive, so we would get a
Hella,
blank one
hella.
and then make it tight looking, and then skate that one until it was good for it, and that was like I started doing the boards in like 2016.
Okay, okay.
2015 around then. I got a on my Instagram. I follow my old page, so if you want to go look at the dates, you can go look at the dates.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, man. So, let's see. Let's even take it back to, I mean, December last year. We planned a little
Yeah.
bit of a show.
Yeah.
Put a lot of work into it.
No
So,
doubt.
what was that first beginning show, and then where is that developing to now?
Yeah, for sure. So last December on the 10th was the day that we did through the show. It took like about a month or two of prep work and configuring the plot and the plan to make that happen. We basically threw a fashion show in our hometown. I took a lot of my fashion pieces and a lot of the connections I got around town, and along with one of my good friends, Vino, we put together all the video and a lot of the planning for artists, and we got a venue out in Murrieta, which is the area we stay in, California, and we made that happen. It was a good turnout on on my first fashion show. We had performances from all the homies from LA to San Diego. They all popped out on a good timing. We had auditions for the show. It wasn't no free lunch. You gotta come put in work for it. You feel me?
Exactly, man.
Yeah. So we took that and made that happen. Envisioned it. We wrote it down. I put together a good team, including Vino, including a lot of other heads that helped out and made that happen. And from then to now, we're about like 7 months past 8 months past, cause that was December. So now
Hella, yeah.
now we're in July, so it's like around 7 8 months, and now I took the brand and we're in downtown LA, and with the help of Vino again, we about to get some great content and get another show going. It's a little pop up. 8 months ago we did that was 8 months ago, so 7 months ago was the show. 8 months ago I had my first pop-up in my homie
Yeah, hella.
Enrique's driveway for his brand Venmoon.
Straight up in the driveway.
In the driveway, and that's the first YouTube video. You can go find that on the Zone of Endless Motion YouTube, with the time tag of 8 months ago. So we took that, and now we're in a pop-up in LA where I'm from, so that's like a big jump from the homie's driveway to an actual storefront where they trusted me with my brand and with the type of promotion for a pop-up and type of kind of running things a little bit more. Older people looking to me now for more attraction and more views and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool, and I'm blessed to be able to be bestowed with that opportunity and type of weight on my name. And the crazy part is they're gonna let me perform some new music, debuting some new music. So that part is the crazy part, because being able to perform in front of people in LA is one of my dreams, and I manifested that, wrote it down type thing, spoken into existence, and now here it is. And with the help of all my homies and all my friends, we're gonna turn it up in downtown LA on West 6th Street, and we're gonna get some crazy content. We're gonna get some crazy promo. We went and filmed promo yesterday already. Got some drone footage. Vino got some drone footage. Got some B-roll, some nice flicks, all that, a bunch of content yesterday. Got to talk with the owners, get some planning going. Some B-roll of the clothes, brought some of the clothes out there, some of the new accessories that we're gonna be dropping, and it's just looking dope. It's looking real dope. That future is looking bright. You feel me?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And I mean, shit. So, how much do you think you learned coming from just our first event that we put on, and then that first pop up to coming now? I mean, 7 months. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
how much have you learned, and what are you trying to now implement when it comes to this new event and being able to bring in more people or just make it way bigger than it was the first time?
No doubt. I've been just putting in that work, that endless motion. The 7 months, it might not look like much, but the good part is being in the cave, being locked away.
Yeah.
That's where the creativity happens. Not everybody has to see the whole process, but we document the process and share parts of it. But the whole process is a completely personalized, you know, like that's what the zone is everybody has their own method of it, you know. And my method is I could go away for a little bit of time in between the seasons when they're changing
Yeah.
and get my stuff right so that I could have good content to throw out, because we want quality. We don't want, it's not fast fashion. This not fast content. It's not fast media. It's meant to put a message. We got a message to share. So it's not fast fashion. It's not fast music. We take time with everything to put a nice cherry on top from all the ingredients.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like bacon, but we sprinkle and we don't measure, bro. It's different, you know. So the 7 months has been a while, but I've learned that as long as you dedicate yourself, you'll find progression. You'll find that motion, that pace that you want to get to. Whether you think that you're not on that pace, you just got to keep yourself dedicating, because you're always going to question where it's going, but you need the question so that you could plan the direction. Right? So we keep it moving. We plan every next step. Everything happening now is not just out of the blue, out of the air. It's planned.
Exactly.
It's manifested. It's spoken into existence. It's like-minded manifested. It's a collective. We're a collective. That's how we make things happen. It's not just me. It's a lot of people backing me, and then everybody backing me. I'm backing them. So it's just a constant evolution. We're progressing. We're not devolving. We're not degressing. We're progressing.
Yeah, I see what
feel
you're
me?
saying, man. So I mean, how important is the community to you, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to different creatives you're working with, different brands that you're trying to pop out with? How much has that elevated you, and how much have you elevated them, and vice versa?
Yeah, collaboration is everything. That's what I'm saying. It's a collective. It's a collective effort. So like, to be able to work with different minds, it puts a different perspective at play where I could feed off that energy, or they could feed off my energy and push it in the proper direction, versus of doing things solo, which is like where you overthink things most of the time when you work solo.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you got somebody else like, oh yeah, that's dope, let's do it, it's versus like, oh, do I do this or do I do that? So if you have a strong community, if you have a strong collective, a strong environment, then you'll be able to do what you set your mind to. You don't want any distractions. So the community is the biggest thing. The community I build around myself is the biggest thing foremost. But then the people who support my community that I build and continue to build with Zone of Endless Motion, the brand, the music, all that stuff, is what keeps us flowing. Because the support is what keeps us flowing. The people who show love keeps us flowing. Even though we'll do it regardless, but it builds it up, it shares it to more people, it brings our message out there. And it's progressive, right? It's the evolution, the endless motion. When people tap into our frequency, then they'll always remember that frequency, and they'll share it with other people. They'll share our message with other people, because it's a influential thing. That's why we have these influencers and all these different people now, because the community supports those people and what they do, or their mindset, or kind of thing like that, or what their message that they portray to the public.
Yeah.
And with our community, we want to just inspire. Like, that's my goal, is to inspire other creatives to be personal, right? So like
Personal how? What you mean?
like to be personalized. It's not everybody is starting to be like copy and paste with the art stuff. Everybody wants to be an artist and all that kind of stuff. But if you're gonna be an artist, we like artists for their personability, right? So how they connect with their audience and the way that they portray their inner lifestyle, right? Their reality, how they portray their reality. So that's what the community is looking for people with originality. That's what I mean by personal. Like,
hell yeah.
We want to be original. We want to have original thoughts. We want to have original creations. We want to have original art, which is what we're based on.
Right.
Right. So we're losing that. We're losing a lot of the originality in the art world.
Right.
So it's a broad thing. It's not just a tight composed circle. It's not so much underground or a specific genre. That's what the community is. We're all part of the same community as the human race.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing that people miss all the fucking time,
Yeah, exactly. Man. That's one of the biggest things that people miss is everybody's a collective. Everybody's a community. So especially in the California community, we're getting good love out here. And we want to spread that love to the other states and bring everybody together and then go international from there, whether it starts international and comes back over here or however it goes, you know?
Hell yeah, man. I mean, shit. That's one thing that I was talking to Robert about yesterday when we were at the pop-up, or at the location where it's going to be, is AI and the way that it's kind of being implemented with a lot of new things.
Yeah.
And how you can lose a lot of creativity in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like you were saying, are very copy and paste and just being able to fill in whatever random niche is necessary to make money. Like I've seen so many people that make brand new YouTube channels that are specifically just using AI to farm cash, which is like, is cool, crazy. But there's a difference. And I think having that personal artistic creativity is what sets you out from everything. Because I mean, you can't imitate the human soul as much as you can try to with an AI. You just can't, and you can't imitate the human creative process. So
I'm already knowing, bro.
That's the big important thing for us to tap into, man. So I mean, on the creative process, how would you describe your creative process and getting into your zone? What does that look like for you?
I can't get too deep into that, but I could give a certain basis.
Okay.
Music is a big thing. So I make music, but also I'm an indulger of music, right? I'm an enthusiast of sorts. Not so much of knowledgeability. I'm not so knowledgeable of all the genres or all the artists and things like that, but I'm an enthusiast in my own way, which is a person of ability, right? Like an originality. So everybody has their own taste and things like that. So when you dwell or indulge in your own taste of music, that's one of my things when I do. And then when you think, right? So it's not so much speaking, right? It's thinking first. You think before you speak.
Right.
So when I think and I indulge in my thought process. So whatever my thought process is what's gonna be portrayed.
So like almost diving inward into what's going on within
internally.
Your mind.
Okay. So whatever's going on in my mind, I dwell in it instead of combat it, right? So a lot of people are in the world now are trying to combat their thoughts or their emotions or what they're going through in life or things like that. But if you indulge in it to learn it, you'll be able to manipulate it.
Interesting. That's definitely something that I have noticed a lot more. At least, I mean, I'm only 19, so it's what I've seen in society growing up. But it seems like you're very not even motivated, but forced to be a specific type of way, to live your life a specific type of way in accordance to somebody else's opinion or the way that they think is successful. And it truly just stifles creativity. I mean, I know so many people that are out there that could be out owning their own business, creating art, making money their own way, starting their own vision, but they're stuck in college, and maybe they do want to be there. Maybe that is something that they want to do.
Or in a job they don't want to be at.
Yeah, in a job you don't want to be at, or just stuck in a position or a home you don't want to be in, and how much potential there really is there, but nobody's really pushed to really see that and really dive into it.
That's what we're rebelling against. That's the whole message, the originality with being defensive against that mindset. We call that the sheep mind, the sheep hive mind, where they're taking advantage of a connected consciousness, where they're putting that connected consciousness at a vibration where it's vulnerable, right? So it's like
Interesting.
like how you say with the AI is taking away their originality, how people are oppressed by that mindset, state of mind, right? So like it's like manipulative in the wrong direction, not positive,
Mm.
right? Because there has to be negative to be positive.
Right. The yin to the yang always.
Yeah, always. But people are dwelling in the negative without turning it positive.
I see. It's becoming a lot more lopsided.
Yeah,
Unbalanced.
and they profit off that. The big corporations
Right.
or the media and all these different things that run the way that things are dictated in the world.
Yeah.
So to be able to rebel against that or have a message that's against that, to have original thoughts, have original creativity, take the line of work and the line of the path that you want, blaze your own trail versus what your parents want you to do or what society tells you is right,
Right.
or type things like that. What do you want to do, like, and then you dwell on what you want to do versus of what they're telling you, because they're gonna push it in your face. They're gonna push it,
Right.
and push it and push it,
Any
and they're
way
gonna say it, and they're gonna speak it into your existence. And they're gonna tell you things. They're gonna write things about you or things like that throughout your pathway, right? When people are talking about you or things that you're doing or things like that, they're implementing their reality onto yours. But if yours is more powerful than theirs, then that really has nothing to do, right? So especially with this social media stuff, a lot of people are negative on there and talk a lot of stuff, right?
For sure, man.
So to be able to combat that and have enough pride or not be to be secure enough to not let that get to you, or not let what people are implying about your life get to you, then that's where that barrier is broken. That's what our message is, right? To rebel against that kind of stuff.
Right.
And that's what really makes somebody free. That's what really puts you in the zone of endless motion. You have to get into the zone of endless motion to have a free mind, right? Things like that, according to that matter. Like, that's what the message is, right? So the more you get into it in your own zone, the more you'll learn, because you're your own soul. I'm my own soul. I control everything that goes around it, like goes on around me. I control everything that goes on around me. If I let it get to me, then I let it get to me. If I don't, then that's on me too. Either way.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing. Is you're the only one that gets to react to the situations around you. You can't create the situation. I mean, you can cultivate the situation you're in, but there are problems that will arise.
Always.
And it's specifically how you react to it and how you can turn a negative into a positive. That really matters. And I mean, one thing that's huge, a quote that came into my mind while you were explaining that is, something, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, I don't want what I need to survive, I want what I need to live.
Yeah.
And that's something that, as you were saying earlier, big corporations or people that are trying to oppress one another or control power, that's dangerous to them.
Yeah.
It's dangerous when people are living with outside of just survival, because when you put somebody in survival instincts, you're very, very easily able to control them, control their actions, their thoughts. And so I think it's definitely huge, everything you got going on, man, and the message that you're pushing. I appreciate you. Just to be able to, you know, get people to do what they want to do, to grow and not be oppressed by one another or by somebody who wants to take power or money or greed or whatever that is, man.
Yeah. Or just bond. That's right. Everything that we say is impactful, right? So what I tell you, I could curse you out right now and I could ruin your whole day.
Right.
But that's what I choose not to do.
Right. And it's only if I let it ruin my day, man.
Yeah, exactly. Same either way.
Exactly.
Everything is action and reaction. The human mind has an antonym and synonym to everything, right? So that's how we work, is the positive and the negative of everything. Yeah. Whenever we find something new, we got to find what's the opposite, right? How do we define it on an opposite spectrum with depending on what the vibration of it is, you know?
Interesting, man. Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from, brother. So what's some philosophy that you've been diving into, man? Because I can totally tell that you know, you've been diving into some deep shit and you're trying to enact that into your creative process and your product.
I gotta give a lot of props to my pops. Shout out to DJ Prophet.
Shout out DJ Prophet.
Yeah, so I'm the son of a prophet. So I got a strong word, right? I'm wise with my word. I'm strong with my word. So I'm basically just relay what he pumps into me, like with the knowledge type shit, you know?
Yeah, I can relate to that, man.
Yeah. So whatever he puts me on to, or different things like that, or like messages he shares, or like because it's a good structure, right? A family is a good structure to have.
For sure, for sure.
And then to have them be a supportive structure is another good thing to have. But not a lot of people have that. I think people don't have that, unfortunately. Yeah. So I'm thankful to have my pops to be under his wing, to be the son of a prophet, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm thankful to have that, to have him as my pops, because he'll relay these messages, and I'm able to relay them to more people, right? So whatever he tells me, or like the mindset that he puts me in through raising me, is what will convey to the population. Right. So that's why when I raise my son, I wanted him to be on my mindset. Like everything I learned is based off what he learned before I was here. So everything I learned before my kid is here is what he's gonna know.
Yeah.
Right. So
pass it all on.
Yeah, and I credit the other part to myself, cause I got a proactive mind. So it runs constantly even when I'm sleeping.
Dude, I feel that.
Yeah, so I dwell on a lot of stuff. So when I dwell on things, I do research, and I look up things, and I know that the internet is not a trustable source as much, but there are trustable sources.
For sure, you gotta do the deep diving.
Yeah, you gotta do the deep diving. So to get to have this access in my pocket is the other part, right?
Oh,
so
dude,
the three parts, right? Me, my pops, and my phone. Right?
Yeah.
And books and knowledge, right? So like
100%.
So like text, I say text, I group it all in the same. So like everything that's written usually in books is on the internet.
Just information.
Yeah, information in general. So I credit information, right? So the more that you dwell in the different books and different articles and different catalogs, it puts you in different perspectives of different situations. That's like basic text, right? So when I read something, like if you wrote a book and I read it, I would interpret your message through my perspective.
100%. Yeah.
So that I credit that to the intelligence. I just interpret information through my own perspective, and then I relay it through my words, or when I write. Right. When it comes to music, I just relay what I feel internally and the things that I know.
Yeah.
So the more that I know, I could relay it through different forms of messaging, through the music, or when I'm writing. So I credit that a lot to intelligence, right? So information.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, gaining more knowledge.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, another quote that just came into my mind as you were saying that, I just had a homie send it to me, was, intelligence is the implementation of knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's all based on what you learn, what you ingest, what you digest, and then how you implement it into your life in a more positive manner. I mean, bouncing off of what you were saying with information and off your phone and the internet, I mean, the wide amount of information that everybody's working with now is it can be such a blessing, but it can be an absolute curse, man. Especially if you're not doing the ingesting yourself. If you're not diving into the information yourself, searching it out, finding reliable sources, learning the information, and then not just spitting it out as gospel, which I found, I'm guilty of doing that sometimes, but actually contemplating it and using it in a wise manner, because it's very, very easy. And again, I fall into this as well, to just have somebody else, I did the research for you, believe this. This is true. This is reality, when it's wrong. It's just manipulation, and somebody's just trying to, whether it's for political gain, religious gain, or just in general power, money, greed, somebody can use that to manipulate you and change how you think and really implement their ideology upon you. So I mean, it's a huge thing. I mean, I've tried recently I've deleted Instagram and all the social medias off my phone. I just use it on the iPad, so then it's only like once or twice a day that I'm looking at it. But I mean, it's such a deep trap that you can fall into so quickly, man, where just all of a sudden, unfortunate, we got that shit out. That's unfortunate. All right, well, we're going to just continue until we wrap this up. But, yeah, man.
It's real unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you're not using it as a tool, and it's becoming manipulative in a negative way, then that's bad. You feel me?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and I props to you for combating that, versus like you combat the negative aspect it has on you, right?
Mhm.
But like in a different perspective, I use it in a positive manner, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
promote business, like to
Exactly.
sell my clothes and my artwork and all different kinds of stuff, and mostly it's promotion, right? Same way how like there's so much information, there's so many people,
Oh yeah.
right? So
For
to be
real,
able to
man.
reach just a single quarter or 10% or 5%, you feel me,
Yeah.
is a huge
It's
thing.
insane,
Yeah,
bro.
so that I use it to inspire, right? I don't use it
Mm.
to despire progression, right? I use it to inspire. And as you were saying with the information, it's like everything that I learn and everything that I interpret or gain the knowledge of, right, is based off my perspective, right? So I say my pops, or I think different things, like some things about my pops I don't agree about,
Right,
right?
right.
So the same thing with the internet, right? So if you're just letting anybody tell you anything, and it could be complete falsification, and if
100%,
you
man.
take it for word, then that's detrimental to your psyche, to your like activity and reality, things like that, and your emotional status and all that kind of stuff. So I take that and I progress with it, right? So like
Mm.
with internalizing, right, or dwelling on my
Yeah.
internal stuff, I take what I go through and put it into different portrayals or like different forms of messaging,
Mm.
so that it's acceptable to multiple different versions of people, right? So
Ah,
so
yeah.
think people that are into different kinds of stuff, or who are followers of different information, right? So
Make it
there's,
more
yeah,
universal.
universal
Mm.
type talking, right? So I take basic information, I put universal aspect to it, which is the gift I have and I like to use, which is like type thing like podcasts with you, or like talking to the camera, or different things like that.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
things like that have to do with the social, right? So like the social aspect of the internet, the community aspect, right?
Mm.
So I like to build on that. I want to build that, right? It's
Yeah.
not so much an addiction for me, where people fall into like addictions of being an influencer and different stuff like
Mm.
that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of like having the attention or things like that, where attention is not so much what I'm after. I'm after to share a mindset, to share a message, to
Mm.
share intelligence, to share
Yeah.
um, collaboration, to feed collaboration, right? Because as a human race, we fear collaboration,
Mm.
because we always want to compete. We don't want to collaborate. So that's
Mm.
another
Yeah.
thing that the zone is you get in the zone with somebody else in a creative process, or even when people are at work, you get in the zone with another being, another soul,
Right.
and y'all get on the same vibration when y'all are working. If you're good at it, you know, if you're a
Exactly.
good people person and different stuff like that. Or we want to progress the human race. We don't want to degress. If I'm not gonna mend with you, if my energy's not gonna blend right with you, then I'm not gonna be around with you,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
different things like that.
100%.
How you were saying earlier, if you're not in the house you want to be in, or if you're going through stuff or things like that, it's how you combat those energies, right? You want to always combat positive. People combat negative with negative, and that just drives the negative force, right? So
Yeah.
if we combat negative with positive, it lessens the negative force, right? So it's all about the balance, right? When
100%,
it comes to
man.
frequency, or when it comes to energy and all this different kinds of stuff, because that's what really we are. We're beings that share that. When we talk, it's a different vibration, and everybody's different in their own way, because our soul is the one that's the intelligent being. You know what
Mm.
I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when we push that and we dwell in that and we learn about that internally and in ourselves, is when we're able to manipulate the world to be how we want it to interact with us, how we want to interact with the world, things like that, you know,
Hell
like
yeah.
different, letting things get to you, right? So if of course something's gonna pop up, but if I'm gonna let it get to me in a negative way, or am I gonna dwell on the positive so I don't pay attention to the negative,
Right,
right?
right.
Things like that, or just like type shit like that, instead of adding to the negative, instead of adding to the force, you know, you want to add to the positive.
100%, man. 100%. Well, fuck, man. I really like your message.
Yeah.
I like where you're coming from, man. I like what you're doing.
Much
I like
love.
what you're doing
Appreciate
with the
the
business.
support.
I'm so happy that I'm able to help out and we're
Hell
able
yeah.
to have a creative partnership going on here. I
No
mean,
doubt.
I see us doing some big ass shit in the future.
Taking over the world, bro.
Big moves.
Taking over the world, bro.
Hell yeah, man. So, one last time, let's mention this pop-up that's coming up. Let's promote
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah. So we're in downtown LA, 204 West 6th Street, 90014 for the zip code. We're at Of The Cloth LA. You can find them at Of The Cloth LA on Instagram. We're premiering the newest collection for Zone of Endless Motion, ZEM or ZEM, however you want to say it. You can find us at zone underscore of underscore endless underscore motion as underscores for spaces. And then we're running up promo. You might see it if you're in California. You might see it and you might like it. And if you like it, then come out. We don't know what time this is going to come out, but if you seen it and you liked it and you came out, comment. Let me know how it's going. Let me know how you like it. Let me know if you're going to go, if it comes out before the show. And the website, too. We got all the old stuff on the website at zoneofendlessmotion.com. All one word, all lowercase. Got one of one bottoms. We got bags coming out after the show this month in July. You go look. If the bags are up, go buy one. We got more one-on-one pants, t-shirts, hoodies, maybe some more accessories. We'll see. And the YouTube, Zone of Endless Motion, Valenzuela Visuals, Vino's YouTube. We got promo on Instagram for Vino too at Valenzuela Visuals, all one word.
Appreciate it.
Yep, and we turning it up. We gonna take over SoCal, bro. This is where we coming out of, and this is where we're turning it up at. So we're gonna put the message out, and hopefully people interpret it positively and take it and run with it and share it, and hopefully we have a broad message to a lot of people. That's the goal. So
sweet, man.
Yep.
Fuck with it. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This is gonna be the first of many, bro.
Hell yeah.
We'll definitely have you on again.
Let me know whenever. We're gonna have a lot more stuff coming up. So we get a lot more progression. You guys will see the progression the more I'm on here. So it's gonna be great. You'll see the more progression of Vino and his quality and the way we look visually and things like that.
Exactly,
so it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be beautiful documentation of the progress of the evolution.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. Doubt. Appreciate you, man. This is
great.
great.
Appreciate you too.
So glad to be able to give you a chance to spread your message a little more.
Yep.
To anybody that can still see me, we ain't got no cameras going right now.
It's all good. Audio podcast.
Yeah, so, well, shit. So hopefully on the next one it'll be a little better. It's cooking in here, but we're going to get the quality up. It's going to go a lot better. So appreciate everybody that's listened through to this point. This has been the Just Life Podcast. This has been with Zirius, owner of Zone of Endless Motion. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Adios.